Michael, what's today's audio?
This time we're comparing Marantz's integrated amplifiers.
You like Marantz, don't you?
I don't mean to sound like that, but maybe I do. This time, we will compare the PM-12 OSE and the Model 40N.
The names are completely different even though they are made by the same manufacturer, aren't they?
The PM-12 OSE is the PM series that has been around for a long time, and the Model 40N is the relatively new model series that started in 2020.
What are the features of the two units?
The PM-12 OSE is a pure integrated amplifier. However, the amplification method is switching. The Model 40N is a general class AB integrated amplifier. However, it has a network function.
What is the price?
The list price is 385,000 yen for both units.
So the same manufacturer sells two amplifiers at the exact same price?
The PM-12 OSE is no longer in production. It will disappear from the catalog in a little while. The PM-12 OSE is priced at 258,000 yen, and the Model 40N at 319,800 yen.
Actually, the Model 40N is more expensive.
This time, I compared pure integrated amplifiers and network amplifiers from the same manufacturer and in a similar price range.
Is there a difference in sound between amps of the same manufacturer with and without network functionality? Master would like to know, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would like to know.
What equipment did you use?
The sound source is Amazon Music, the network streamer is LinkPlay's WM Ultra, and each amplifier and speakers are KEF's R3 Meta. I did not use the network function of the Model 40N to listen to the sound as an amplifier, but used the analog output from the WM Ultra to the amplifier.
Did the two units sound different?
As it turns out, the sound was quite different between the two units. The PM-12 OSE had higher SN and resolution. The PM-12 OSE was clearly the better amplifier.
That's quite a difference.
Let's start with a comparison of the front panels. The front panel of the PM-12 OSE is surprisingly simple. On the left is the input selector, on the right is the volume control, on the lower left is the headphone jack, on the right is the remote control receiver, and in the middle is a round window. The symmetrical design with minimal switches is not bad. The Model 40N has the usual amp switches, input selector, tone control, etc. I think the Model 40N has a clean enough design, though not as clean as the PM-12 OSE. What bothered me was the lighting on the side of the PM-12 OSE. The blue light is too glaring. In contrast, the Model 40N has a slight glowing light. Although they have the same symmetrical design, the Model 40N has a curved surface, which makes it look more elegant. The PM-12 OSE is an old Marantz design, while the Model 40N is a new Marantz design. It's a matter of taste, but to me, the Model 40N looks more elegant and stylish than the PM-12 OSE. Besides, the PM-12 OSE does not even have a source direct switch on the front panel. It can only be set via remote control. I was puzzled when I installed it because I had never seen an amp without such switches.
It is true that the Model 40N has a more mature look. But if you have been using Marantz for a long time, you may feel at home with the design of PM-12 OSE, don't you?
Yes, that's true. They may feel more comfortable with the unchanged design.
What about the back panel?
Before explaining the terminals, the back panel of the PM-12 OSE is very luxurious. The copper-plated rear panel not only looks luxurious, but also contributes to sound quality. Plating the chassis with copper, which is non-magnetic and highly conductive, suppresses eddy currents and reduces potential differences in the chassis, thereby reducing noise. In addition, the PM-12 OSE has CD and phono terminals machined from high-grade copper. This is the kind of thing that tickles the sense of ownership. The other RCA terminals on both units have the same texture. However, the phono inputs on the PM-12 OSE are MM and MC, while the Model 40N supports only MM-type inputs. The PM-12 OSE is a full-fledged integrated amplifier, while the Model 40N is an integrated amplifier with an emphasis on networking. Both units also have a power amp and jack, so they can be used as power amps by connecting a preamplifier. Only the Model 40N has a subwoofer output.
You don't use a subwoofer, do you?
I'm quite happy with just the bass from the speakers. The speaker terminals are the same, but the PM-12 OSE is plated with copper. This gives it a high-class feel. Only the Model 40N has network terminals for LAN, USB-A, optical, and coaxial digital inputs. The PM-12 OSE has a biamp terminal and FCBS terminal.
FCBS?
Let me start by explaining biamping. Biamping is a method of using two PM-12 OSE units as monaural amplifiers, one at a time. The PM-12 OSE does not support bi-wiring. However, by using two PM-12 OSE units, bi-wiring drive is possible. Since there is no interference between the left and right channels, a high level of sound quality can be expected.
Using two integrated amplifiers is a luxury.
I have never tried biamping, so I don't know how well it works. However, the manufacturer has set up the system to allow biamping, so it must be effective. But it would require the cost of two units, though. FCBS stands for Floating Control Bus System, which allows up to 4 PM-12 OSE units to be operated by one PM-12 OSE.
For units of the same amplifier?
In a manner of speaking, such a setup is possible. Up to 8 speakers can be played back if 4 amplifiers are connected.
Is there anyone who does that?
Using 4 amplifiers is expensive and takes up a lot of space. And of course, more speakers. That is why FCBS was eliminated from the Model 30. I guess not many people use it biamped.
Michael, have you tried biamping?
Yes, I have. Biamping should give a very good separation between left and right. If I had the money, I would like to try it. The power cables are the same for both units. The D&M power cables are shared and the quality is not good. We would like to see a higher quality power cable. Remote controls are completely different, even from the same manufacturer. The PM-12 OSE is a very old design, while the Model 40N is a new design that started in 2020. The remote control for the PM-12 OSE has many buttons and is difficult to use, as it can also operate the company's CD players. In contrast, the Model 40N remote control has a sophisticated design and is easy to use. The only thing that bothers me is that it is a bit large.
What are the specs?
Here is a simplified specs list. As in the previous comparison between the PM-12 OSE and the Luxman L505Z, the numbers are very different because the PM-12 OSE is a switching amplifier and the Model 40N is a Class AB amplifier. The rated outputs are quite different. Especially at 4 ohms, PM-12 OSE is 200W and Model 40N is 100W. It is said that the rated output does not affect sound quality much, but there may be a difference in sound when the output is this different. Harmonic distortion ratio is low enough for both. The signal-to-noise ratio is 107 dB for the PM-12 OSE and 113 dB for the Model 40N. According to the specs, the Model 40N has a higher SN ratio. The damping factor also has little to do with the sound, but the difference is significant, as the PM-12 OSE has a damping factor of 500 and the Model 40N has a damping factor of 100. The power consumption of the PM-12 OSE is 130W and that of the Model 40N is 220W, with the PM-12 OSE being much lower.
Switching amplifiers are more energy efficient.
The Model 40N weighs only 1 kilogram more. Still, 16.7 kilograms for a Class AB amplifier is on the lighter side, though it is inferior in power.
In terms of specs, the PM-12 OSE is superior except for the signal-to-noise ratio. What is the key difference in sound?
People say that the power rating and damping factor have little to do with the sound, but in my system, there was quite a difference. The PM-12 OSE drove the KEF R3 Meta with plenty of power. I was not concerned about the driving power of the speakers, but there is a big difference between the PM-12 OSE and the Model 40N. I was surprised at the difference in scale when I listened to the PM-12 OSE, although I didn't feel that way when I listened to the Model 40N alone. The resolution is high throughout the entire range, and the soundstage has a wonderful extension. I didn't expect such a difference even among amps in the same price range.
Why is it so different?
I think it is because the PM-12 OSE is a switching amp and has more power, and it does not have a network function. Since it does not need to have a network function or DAC, it can specialize in music playback. That should lead to the difference in sound. The Model 40N has a higher signal-to-noise ratio in the specifications, but the PM-12 OSE wins hands down in terms of audibility.
Are there any advantages of the Model 40N?
It supports network playback. If you have the Model 40N and speakers, you can do network playback. With the PM-12 OSE, you would need another device such as a network streamer.
But the PM-12 OSE is about 60,000 yen cheaper, right?
That's right. The PM-12 OSE is 60,000 yen cheaper, so I think the sound quality will be better if you use the money you save to buy a network streamer. With 60,000 yen, I can buy LinkPlay's WM Ultra.
It is a pity that the PM-12 OSE is no longer in production.
The replacement for the PM-12 OSE is the Model 30, but it costs 100,000 yen more than the PM-12 OSE. If you can forgive the old design of the main unit and remote control, I highly recommend the PM-12 OSE. I think the driving power of the speaker exceeds the price.
Master, you want to buy PM-12 OSE too, don't you?
Yes, I want it.